Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Logan Carney here, obviously not Greg Sutton, but the much improved host of Colonial Sports Center. And I'm with here my much improved colleague, Sam Anthony. It's a Logan and Sam show.
They give you one show, and you just already hit everyone that was on air before you. This just tells you where the show's going to go. So where are we going, Logan?
Well, we're going to be going, we got football. Like I said earlier, football, both hockeys, both basketballs, volleyball, all of that happened this past weekend. Of course, you got a couple players in the studio. Why don't you tell us about that, Sam?
That's right. I got an interview with Lauren Bailey and Emily Curlett.
My final take this week is on a topic that I've grown increasingly frustrated with since I joined the show back in the fall. That is the current roster of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, you heard me, the Pittsburgh Steelers, six-time Super Bowl champs. Now, while this is the most talented group of athletes in the NFL, their obvious character issues have annoyed me immensely. Now, reports are coming out that Sean Davis, their star safety, is being sued by the family of a teenage Chick-fil-A worker after he was caught on video making fun of the kid's small character. My question is, where is the leadership on this team? Why is there not growing men on and off the field? Why is there not a single role model of what has always been and always will be Pittsburgh's favorite sports team? This incident happened back in December, midway through the season. Why does the roster feel the need to embarrass? Yes, you embarrassed us, Sean Davis, not just with your play on the field, but embarrassed us, this city, in what I thought was a class act of an organization. It's time for you guys to grow up, just like the rest of us have already done.
For the first time in 10 years, Robert Morris football is going to be playing meaningful football in November on this field, Joe Walton Stadium, when they take on their rival Duquesne this Saturday. Army Sentry Media had the chance to talk to Coach Clark of the Robert Morris football program when they headed down to practice and got his thoughts on bringing back a winning culture to Robert Morris and their thoughts on their rival Duquesne. So, Coach Clark, obviously a very big game this weekend. So what are your thoughts overall on the matchup with Duquesne?
Well, unfortunately, all of them are big, but this matchup's going to be, it has some meaning this year. Last year didn't really have a whole lot of meaning. This year has some meaning because we are tied for first place, but we still lost 4 games, so we got to make sure we got to stay focused on what's important.
So what does it feel like to be, just your second season here at Robert Morris, but already bring back a winning culture to the school, especially, the years prior, just absolutely disappointing years?
Well, I just think it's more along what the guys are doing. They're doing a great job of building the culture here. Those guys are really bonding to each other, not so much bonding to me, but believing in each other and believing in one another and believing in things that we're telling them. And so that always feels good.
So obviously the next 2 weeks, Duquesne and then Central Connecticut State, the two teams that you guys are tied for first with. So what have you been telling your team in order to prepare them for these two matchups?
There is no tomorrow. That's our motto. We're making sure we prepare for today. We're not worried about anything in advance. We got to take it one day at a time, one play at a time, one game at a time. That's it. So our guys understand there is no tomorrow. Let's play fast, let's play physical, and let's finish.
Now, you guys had a couple slow starts the past couple of weeks, but you came off strong, obviously, and won the game, especially in the second half. What have you guys done to prepare so that you guys can start off strong against Duquesne?
Well, I think the thing is make sure we're finishing the game. Of course, we want to start off strong, but what our guys have been doing a great job of is finishing the game and keeping their heads in it and staying focused and making the adjustments we need to make at halftime. Our guys know they got to start fast. Like I said, we got to be physical and we got to finish, but they also understand they got to maintain their composure throughout the game.
Robert Morris, Duquesne, and Central Connecticut State are all 4-0 in NEC play. A win this week and a win next week would clinch Robert Morris at least a share of their first NEC title since 2010. This has been Logan Carney reporting for RMU Sentry Media. Recently, National Signing Day passed, and for Robert Morris, the #1 player who signed his letter of intent, signed it back on January 6th, his second grader, Jimmy Spagnolo. Jimmy, who goes by Jimmer after Jimmer Fredette, was diagnosed with an inoperable optic nerve glioma brain tumor at 4 months old.
So when he was 4 months old, we noticed some shaking of the eyes and his head got a lot bigger than normal. And so we took him to his regular checkup. After a couple calls, we just thought it was normal newborn stuff, and they ended up sending us down to Children's Hospital to get to the neuro-oncology unit. And he was diagnosed within 48 hours with an optic pathway glioma brain tumor.
In February of 2016, Jimmer finished his last round of chemotherapy. After a long and hard-fought battle, Jimmer's spirit through all of it caused the good news to happen.
Fast forward 7.5 years later, he's been on 4 rounds of chemotherapy. He's rocked every single one of them. He's done really well.
He became a viral star as he was able to celebrate the end of chemotherapy by ringing a bell, a tradition at Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. While he's not currently in remission, Jimmer's tumor has been stabilized enough that he can live a long and happy life with it.
The tumor is still there, but it is stable, and Jimmy could live till way past us, till 100 years old with it the way it is, as long as it stays the way it is.
With Robert Morris, Jimmer has practiced with the team. He has also gone to almost every game and is an official member thanks to the letter of intent he signed back in January. The connection between Jimmer's family and the Robert Morris basketball team is strong, as Jimmer's parents are both former alumni of RMU. Furthermore, Jimmer has developed a strong connection with leader Matty McConnell, while the coaching has been key in putting everything together.
From minute one, walking into the facility that first time, it was
Open arms.
Coach Toole was right there, Trey and company were right there, Coach Griff, Deontay Jackson was there, and they welcomed Jimmer in from minute one. And then as soon as he stepped on the floor, it was really weird. So one of the first guys that you could see there was an instant connection was Matt. Yeah. And I didn't realize it until after we were looking at our pictures, but when he was sitting down signing, Matt was right behind him. Yeah. When they were doing general shoot around and hanging out, there was an instant connection with Matt. Yeah. At the game, when we walked into the game, we were sitting courtside. And all the players came over, but there was just something special between the two of them.
The family that has been fighting through this incredibly tough battle is one of the kindest and happiest families that you could ever meet. A family filled with love and positivity. They have faced every challenge and obstacle in their way, with smiles on their faces and love in their hearts. More importantly, they have faced every challenge and have beaten it. If you're going through a battle, it's families like the Spagnuolos that inspire confidence. Jimmer's parents, Lacey and Jimmy, had a message for families going through similar battles.
It's not about getting to the end game. It's about the journey and how you deal with the journey as you go through it. Jimmer is just that prime example of, yeah, we're not done. We may not be done, but no matter what, I'm going to celebrate every minute I get. And that was just one example of him celebrating his life.
Well, from day one, since the kid's been born, we felt like, and I know every parent says this, right? My kid's here for a reason. There's something special about this kid. And we knew it. Remember, he was 4 hours old, and the nurses kept coming into the room. And I was walking down the hall, and I saw these nurses walking into the room. They would leave laughing. I finally walked in. I said, "What's going on?" And they said, "Look at him sticking his tongue out. He was going like this."
Like, haha, I'm here.
To the nurses, and they were coming from all over the floor. They were coming to watch him.
Very alert, very handsome baby.
So I just felt like he was a special kid from the get-go. And when the international news cycle started of that video clip, that was one of those moments where we felt like this is why he was here.
This is Logan Carney reporting, RMU Sentry Media.